Welcome to the Path to Purpose interview show, where we share our unique and universal stories about finding and fulfilling our purpose. My name is Katja, and I'm your host, story coach, and mentor for purpose-driven entrepreneurs. My intention for this show is to inspire you on your path to purpose. Today, I have the pleasure to interview Charlene Tessier, who was able to turn a failing online business into a thriving success by using a powerful combination of two underutilized tools, LinkedIn and Livestream. Today, she'll share with us how you can attract a motivated prospect into your business using one or both of those tools. So let's get started here. Welcome, Charlene.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I am super excited to have you here and share about those underutilized tools. But before we jump in there, I'm just curious to know, was there a special path that led, or a special event that led you to this path?
Well, actually, I think many entrepreneurs, their path is very winding, and mine was kind of the same. I actually started my business quite a long time ago. I guess it's almost 8 years now. I'm actually quite surprised how long it's been, but it was a physically kind of based local business in Vancouver, Canada. That's where I'm originally from. And I was going, to meetups, and it was actually doing quite well. And then after a few years, I got pregnant and had my daughter. And I thought, you know what, it's going to be way easier to do the business online, I thought. And, to make my life a little bit more challenging, my husband and I, my husband is German, we decided to move to Germany. And so I thought, I'm going to move my business online. I'm going to do it in another country. And how hard could it be? And I was actually kind of shocked. It was a very hard 2 years with a young child, trying to start a business in a country that I didn't speak the language. And even though my client base was in North America, the challenge of being online, not in the place where my customers were, was much more difficult than I thought. And actually, when COVID hit, it kind of opened the door for me, because what happened is everybody came online. And of course, many people started doing a lot of live Zoom things, Zoom calls. And that's what I started doing, kind of these live Zoom events. And people were just always asking me a lot of questions about LinkedIn and my business and how I'm able to do it. And so I started moving more into and kind of embracing LinkedIn, and especially live streaming, because it was this way for me to connect with my audience in a personal way. And that's how I kind of got started in doing my online coaching business now.
Wow. And there is so much resonance with our stories, because I heard the question, how hard can it be? And this is number one tip I'm telling nowadays everyone: do not ask that question, because the universe will show you. And I'm so glad that you figured a way out from that and like getting your business growing and now sharing your gifts. And finding that LinkedIn and that live stream. And one of the things I'd like to know, like, why do you think live streaming is so important for getting clients online?
Well, live streaming is very popular, of course, with Facebook Live, YouTube Live, even Instagram, TikTok, but there's still very few people live streaming on LinkedIn. And there's a few reasons for that. And one is that they don't know that LinkedIn actually has a live streaming component as well. The reason they don't know is because it's not quite as integrated as Facebook or even YouTube, where you can pretty much press a button on Facebook and go live. Unfortunately, LinkedIn didn't design it very well. And so there's kind of more steps involved to be onto LinkedIn Live. However, most likely, if you are already on LinkedIn and your client is there and you are posting regularly, you probably already have been granted access to LinkedIn Live, but you just didn't know how to turn it on. And maybe a little later, I can share some tips on how to do that. And so live streaming, I really feel, especially video, you'll notice it's very popular across all social platforms, because it's really a way for people to see you, to get to know you, and of course, build a relationship. And you'll be surprised at how strong and powerful video is, especially if it's done in a very personal way, in a way that's as if you're talking to the person who is there with you. And everybody who contacts me through LinkedIn, I get a lot of direct messages. The first thing I always ask them is like, how did you kind of discover me? And they always, first thing they say is, well, I've been watching a lot of your videos. And so it's because I'm actually building a relationship with them, you know, through the video in a sort of, it seems indirect, but for them, it's a very personal and direct way. And that's why I think the video and live stream is very powerful.
Perfect, because yes, it gives you the feel, like you hear the person, you just connect a little bit different way than in a written post. And then one of the things you highlighted there, one is the technical part, like how to actually do it. But then also I'm curious if there are other reasons, like why do so many people, once they get the technical part, how to do a live stream, why they still struggle with live streaming, and maybe they postpone or just, okay, I'll do it one day, and they are not doing it. Why do you think it's that?
Well, there's a few things that is a little bit more scary with live streaming than even say YouTube, which is more of a traditional video platform. One, it's most video, it's like you can have it recorded and then you can kind of edit out the things that, you know, kind of went wrong. Live stream is live, you know, disaster happened to me. Sometimes the sound didn't even work and I didn't know until the stream was over that the audience couldn't hear the sound. Like all these things can happen, and this is something you can't control and you kind of have to roll with it. And so people are afraid because they want to sort of always present their best self, especially in LinkedIn. It's a business platform. You always want to have kind of the best foot forward, professional kind of, you know, performance when you put it on. Although people just doesn't really realize that we are doing business, even business to business, it's with people. And we like to do business with people we get along with, that we have a relationship with, and who we see. And so not saying that you can just get out of bed and maybe, you know, not, you know, comb your hair, but live stream is, I think it's a little bit more personal because it doesn't have that over edited kind of feeling. And, you know, on YouTube, some video professional, it's like the level of professionalism super high, and you're kind of feeling like me. I'm looking at my video today thinking, hey, it's not, you know, the quality of YouTube, but when the people are coming to live stream, they are not expecting that. They're expecting me. Who am I? And what am I sharing? And getting to know my personality. So actually for me, it actually takes off the pressure, because it's like, hey, you're getting me as if you're in the coffee shop. You're not getting the overproduced, super perfect Charlene, which really does not exist for anybody.
I love that. And I'm the same way, actually. Live stream, yeah, there might be some ums. If I'm recording something for my program and doing a video recording, that takes so much longer because I'm, okay, take number, whatever.
Yes, that's very true. Because we want to have the most perfect video. And in the end, it kind of doesn't really matter, because as long as you deliver in a very clear, structured way. So I can talk a bit about that later on, but my live streams are not this kind of a wing it or just impromptu kind of live streams. That's much more common, I would say, in Facebook or even Instagram. You kind of feel like today, hey, I'm just going to stream. I don't do it that way. It is a structured format. It makes a difference because I do still want to present information in a valuable way. That's not just a bunch of ramblings for 30 minutes. That's not of value, because that won't have a very high conversion in the end, because it's just not delivering the value that your audience is looking for.
And one of the things, well, this I know about you because you have shared this, that you were not always that comfortable of being on the camera. So can you share, because maybe there are some, well, now like, yeah, easy for you to say, like you just are natural there. So how did you get over your fear of being on camera?
Well, first, just to let you know, we all go from, zero to where we are today. I have been doing live stream for over 2 years, and I have over 200 live streams. So there's a difference now the way I am than if you watch my first one. I can show you. And actually, I did an email recently, and I did share my first. It wasn't even my live stream, it was my first. I started with record a video because I thought it would be easier. I shared it to my audience, and I was embarrassed, to be honest, in my community. Like, oh my, look at me, I'm so horrible in my first one. But we all have to start somewhere. And I'm actually quite introverted person. So I was not comfortable in camera. I was not comfortable doing video. And one of the ways that made it a lot easier for me was, first, I didn't do record videos because this actually got in my way of, like you said, take after take after take, trying to get it perfect, scripting it, recording it. All of this actually kind of hindered me from getting into video, because there's a few things that has to happen. You have to, one, you kind of have to do it. And two, a lot of it is practice. Just like any skill you want to learn, if you want to become a good copywriter, you got to write a lot of copy, and even bad copy. And that's how is video. It's just, you have to keep doing it every week, practicing to actually build the skill to get very good at it. And so an easy way to do that, if it's very scary, of course, to do it by yourself, like me, I do now a lot of single, sort of just by myself. But when I really started out live streaming, I always had a guest. By having a guest just like this, it's easy because it's like me just having a chat with you. I don't have to really think too much about what I have to say because I'm interviewing someone. At the time, I actually had five of the most, I always had the same questions, and that's okay because you're going to have always a very different and interesting answer from the guest. And of course, as the guest is speaking, you will come up with some ideas and questions, and you will not note them down, and then you'll have a conversation. And so that's actually how I started out with, for the first 6 months. For my first, my very, very beginning live streams were all done with guests, because that was the easiest way. I didn't have to plan a lot, except for getting the guest to come on the show, but I didn't have to do a lot of planning. And I would say, if you're camera shy, do it with a guest, even with, through, maybe you want to even have a co-host. So I've seen like a lot of podcasts, they have that, like two kind of co-hosts who play off on each other, so that you don't always need to find that external guest or to bring in a guest for your audience. And that, I think, is a good way to get started.
Yeah, those are really great ideas. So now somebody is like, okay, I know somebody, I can ask him or her to be my guest or co-host. And where can they get started? What's the best place to get started with live streaming?
Well, of course, I'm going to be a little bit biased in LinkedIn, but it really depends on if you are, especially if you're an online business, online coach, you're using social to find and attract your clients. This is the place we have to be. We have to be where they are. If it was a physical place, then we would be in a physical place. If we're online, we're usually in a social platform. So thinking about where your client is, which social platform are they really hanging out and being active in? That could be Facebook, that could be Instagram, it could be LinkedIn. And so live streaming is very prevalent across all platforms now. The only platform I would probably say not to start with, and not that it's bad, but it's because it takes a bit longer for you to build your audience, and that is YouTube. So YouTube, when you post, you will find it will sit there for a long time without any real activity. So it's much easier to start with which is called like an instant feedback platform, which is much more like Facebook, right? People already are friends there with you, so it's more likely they will see your content and post within the first few days. YouTube is great for the long tail, and that's more for like an advanced, when you really want to get into video and get advanced, you will definitely need YouTube, because that's going to be what's going to grow your business in the long run. But in the short, if you want to just get started and play around, have some fun, and give it a try. Try it on Facebook even, and see Instagram, whatever is instant platform. The reason I don't say LinkedIn is because there's many, unfortunately, technical steps. You can't just hit go live. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, you mentioned something I want to dig a little bit deeper there. So, because and people often say this, like, know where your clients are. But how does somebody know if their ideal client is on LinkedIn?
Yes. So I have a very good example on that one. And a lot of people ask me about that too, because it is hard to know. They were saying, I'm in Facebook, but I'm not getting really good results. That's a lot of my clients actually are on another social platform, and they've decided that probably LinkedIn is a better place, but they're not sure if they're there. And so we can look at, for example, maybe you are a owner of a pet store, and it's a boutique pet store for dog owners. And probably on Facebook, you would find sort of the direct consumer, the one who's going to go there to buy the product for their dog, the dog food or the special dog leash or whatever. But on LinkedIn, you can possibly also find them there, although more likely so you will find other partners who can help you to even scale your business more. So an example of that could be a dog food, a special kind of dog food for maybe raw dog food. I don't know, something like that, who is going to do some promotions or activities, and you can partner with them to grow your audience base that way through their shared relationship with you. And so it's just thinking about your business a little bit differently, not solely in a sort of B2C. I mean, in the end, B2C, B2B is very, very similar. It's just pivoting, looking at who would really be on a LinkedIn, right? Yes, the direct customer, but maybe it would be better to build a relationship with a particular type of raw dog food, who's in your area, who's local, who's, everything that you stand for, and work together as a partnership and expand your customer through that one relationship, expand your customer base to thousands of potential customers. And so that's kind of how I kind of take the approach. Most businesses, I think, is able to find their customers on LinkedIn as well.
Nice. I love that. It's a really great tip, and like expanding the thinking as well. So
yes.
Besides contacting you, of course, which I recommend to get started and get help on this, what is one thing people can do to get better at live streaming or finding their clients on LinkedIn? What's the first step that they can do?
The first step, actually, I would say wouldn't be live streaming, even though I'm a bit very live stream heavy. The first step would be to, under your name in LinkedIn, you have a little bit of text there. And that little bit of text, you don't really know. That's the title. That's like people used to use that as like the resume. They would put their, I don't know, CEO of XYZ company, whatever. That's what a lot of people used to use it for. But they don't know that that little bit of text shouldn't say something like CEO of XYZ company, because it follows you around everywhere on LinkedIn. It's the first little bit of text they're going to read about you and make it's your actually first impression. And rather than saying something about that you're the CEO of XYZ company, which doesn't tell them anything, it would be much more useful to say, I can help. Let me say, let's say, I can help dog owners, have the best, I don't know, I'm not a dog owner, but, saying something that's going to attract the customer. So essentially calling out to who you want, right? If you're looking for raw dog food companies, hey, raw dog food companies in this area, I really help all specialized, I don't know, whatever, dog winners or something like this, right? And so that little bit of text, whether you comment, whether you share, whether you engage, it's seen. It's the first thing that's actually seen about you. And it's a very huge lost opportunity that most people don't think about, because they just always put the title of their business, and that doesn't doesn't shout out to tell them anything. And it's a first impression that could turn into someone reaching out to you, because if they read that little bit of text and they're interested in you, the next thing they're going to do is they're going to click into your profile. And and that often happens to me. And then they're like, oh, this person's actually, yeah, they're going to be able to help me. They're going to message you. And then you've already got the conversation going. So it is a very short path that can help you. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So now everyone take action. Go and check what you have under your name and just use this advice from Charlene and change it if it's not like Charlene described. So use that to attract more clients. So that was really, really great first step. So everyone can do that. And you've given us so much to think about as well, about the live streaming, about LinkedIn. And I know you put together a special gift for my community to take what we have been talking about here today and go deeper. So can you share a little bit about that gift?
Yeah. So many of you may already be posting on LinkedIn, or maybe you're thinking about posting on LinkedIn. I'm going to give you my 5-day planner. It's very easy. In 5 days, you will essentially have a little system going so that you can post regularly on LinkedIn. You don't have to do video. You can do written word to start if it's easier, images. You can upload videos or content that you already have. And I also include a component that's actually very strong around story, because I didn't talk too much about that in this interview, but it is a way to stand out, especially on LinkedIn, because often many professionals don't want to share stories in LinkedIn. They feel that's, maybe not appropriate, but there are stories that you can share, and story is super, super powerful. And it's an amazing way to really build those relationships. And so I do have a little component in there for one of the days that's really focused on how you can incorporate story into your content, which are going to attract more clients to you.
Yes, nice. And love that story component, because I'm all about stories. And
yes, I know.
There is they can build your credibility and trust and really attract your ideal clients. So I love that you have included that part. And now, as we are starting to wrap up this interview, I'm just want to ask, do you have a special message that you would like to share and wrap up this interview?
I did talk a lot about a lot of things here. And so one of the things I don't know if I gave that to you, but I will make sure to give it to you after this, is you can ask your questions to me in my community. It's a free community. It's not on Facebook or LinkedIn. So it's a very clean platform. I give a lot of additional resources that I wouldn't just, more than what I give in LinkedIn. LinkedIn's kind of like the top level. And if you, for example, you want to really get that headline, that little bit of text under your name, and want some feedback about it, and even get the little template and the framework, I give all of those things for free in my community. And so I'll give you the link so you can also join that.
Nice, thank you. And you will find all those in the show notes. So check it out there, click those links, get to the community and get that gift as well, because it's so valuable. So I just want to say thank you so much, Charlene, for your time today and all the work that you do in the world.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you for watching the Path to Purpose interview show. If you like this interview, hit that thumbs up button. And I'm sending you so much light, so much love. Stay tuned for the next episode by subscribing to this channel. Bye for now.